something to think about.
Good feedback. I'll do some research as to like the average decimal level of podcasts.
Decibel.
Decibel
You said decimal, which is like the point.
in a number.
Yeah. I learned the other day who made the decimal point. Whatever. I can't remember the name.
Dewey Decimal.
Dewey Decimal.
Rhyme or free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry.
Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we typically take a deep dive into my dabbling with poetry between 2004 and 2008, when I was in high school. Each week we hear a selection read aloud for what may be the first time, and we examine it for its historical, philosophical, and literary qualities, always asking, why in the world did I write this? I'm Aaron, and I'm dragging my dear friend Dave along with me on this journey into my old private journal. Dave, welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
We missed you last week.
Yeah, and I was very sad, but I will say, I think the episode from this last week is tied for one of the best because it didn't include my annoying nasally voice.
Oh, now you see, I hate my voice.
Oh, well, I hate your voice too. I find your voice but...
Oh, well.
You were going to try and be nice and like commiserate, but no, I'm just a jerk.
Dave, let's get into the poetry of this show. What have you crafted for us today?
Okay, so this week's poem is called This Is Just Not Creative. I have banged on the drums in the basement, and which you were probably getting rid of. Forgive me. They were raucous, so noisy, and so fun.
Are you getting rid of the drum set?
Yeah, we're going to try and sell the drum set.
Aww. Way to break the news to me, Dave.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. You were so invested in that drum set.
I've had to edit out so many drum solos when I'm away from the...
But no, I was trying to think of something that's like actually poetic, and this makes me happy. I got Kelly Agadon's book, the prompts for poetry.
Yeah.
And one of them was take a poem that you enjoy and just kind of rework it to something in your life.
Oh, what were you working with?
So this poem is based on This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams, which is a really beautiful poem. I love it. And it's kind of had its cultural moment a couple of times. But the poem is just, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were delicious, so sweet and so cold.
Huh.
So any like merit or any semi-decent thing you were going to say about my poem is only because of that one.
Okay. Well, I wasn't.
Yeah. No, I know.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. I like that poem.
One. Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Like it's a really human experience, and mine is not. But yeah, good times.
Speaking of good times, no, we're reading a poem from my journal that is not titled in the original, but the title given to it in the typed anthology is called The Cry.
Okay, I need you to take that one again. You got to have more emphasis. It can't be the cry. It's the cry.
You've given me that feedback multiple times.
I do. I give you that feedback. Do you ever take it into consideration?
Never.
No, because it's bad feedback.
Okay. The Cry.
Thank you.
Are you happy? Okay. The youth of the world cry out. We are thrown into the world's troubles from the start, desensitized, demoralized, and dehumanized, depressed. Bands scream of a broken life as parents turn off the radio. Youth crave attention not given to them. This is not an age of prosperity, but an age of turmoil. As we cry for help, we are drowned in silent denial.
So, first impressions on this one, I'm going to say there is a term that I think fits this poem very well. That term is a little, I don't know, risque, maybe? Or just derogatory, I think is the right way. Edgelord.
Oh. You see, now that's a world of people and philosophies and things that I know it's part of the manosphere, and
Yeah.
I tend to not look much into that because it scares me.
That's probably for the best. Yeah.
You're saying this sounds exactly like that.
Yeah, it sounds very, I am important because I see what the older generation can't, and I am a genius, and the Joker was right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many of those kind of vigilante movies are all about like the person who's trying to reset the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, by their standards of justice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, way to ruin this poem.
It took a lot of effort, Aaron. I really
Yeah.
had to try to ruin it.
Right? I mean, otherwise you're looking at a masterpiece of the literary arts. No? No.
I'm gonna need a minute to physically recover from that comment.
Okay. I will say, I think the inspiration to this poem is most likely the fact that I probably learned the word or the concept desensitized. Sophomore of high school, I think that would be about the age where you learn that word in like a vocabulary lesson or talk about it somewhere. And I think I'm just like, ooh, desensitized. What a big word.
Have we ever spent time with the fact that these are coming out of like your sophomore years? Because sophomore is like a wise fool.
We've mentioned that once before.
Okay.
Oh, that was a long time ago, but that is true. There's the wise foolishness really lives
Pretty
into
accurate
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Because I think you're actually pointing to something that is true and is experiential, but you're pointing to it with a sledgehammer,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole denial of wisdom with all generations, which I
Yeah.
think you were getting to with the edgelord comment. I mean, youth crave attention not given to them. We cry for help and we're drowned. I've learned more and more that throughout every generation there have been voices, and frankly, this poem is not one of them.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, but no, there's the kernel of truth in that. I mean, the world, frankly, not the best.
Again, magnificent language skills.
Yep. Really
not the best.
Not the best.
No.
I remember distinctly. This is a moment in my history where after school I would go downstairs and I'd sit on the computer on MSN Messenger and I'd listen to CDs that I ripped from the library.
Yep.
As I tried to be kind of the expert of music at my school. I was trying to keep ahead of the bands and stuff. So clearly, grabbing them from the library after they get a copy.
That's the way to do it.
I was really up on the times.
But I mean, growing up in like Alaska, how are you going to get what? How else would you get music out in the bush? Or is that
That's
Australia?
Australia. Oh gosh, Dave. I'm gonna leave that in because that's
Yeah.
embarrassing for you.
That's very embarrassing for me.
In Ohio, yeah, we had an emo band. What were they called? Hocking Hills? Was that no Hocking Height? No Hawk.
Nelson.
No, Hawk Nelson was a different band. I did
No,
have
I
all
know.
their CDs. No, they had one hit that
Okay.
maybe wasn't even a hit coast to coast. It was, but like we were really proud of it because they were from like 20 minutes away. But anyway, it was part of that emo punk genre.
Sure.
And I remember blaring that music. And at times, I would specifically pick songs that were more, shall we say, in this line. And I'd play them really loud. And my dad would come downstairs and be like, turn that off. And so, as parents turn off the radio,
Huh. Where could you be drawing inspiration from, good sir?
me trying to troll my dad as a kid sitting in a basement.
I will say I'm hearing POD.
Oh yes,
We are
Youth of the
the
Nation.
youth of the
Yeah.
nation.
That was about 5 years before this,
Okay.
I think.
I have no idea.
I mean,
Time's a flat circle, man.
I think that CD came out 2001, 2000 maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, it wouldn't mean that I wasn't ripping directly from that. I did love that song.
It was a good song.
Yeah.
It was a bop, as the kids say.
The cry for attention's really fascinating.
Yeah.
An aspect that we could get into.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are better poems to breach some of that.
Sure.
But I will say it's interesting that this craving for attention and this cry for help is again, as we have said in the past, being put into a private journal and not really spoken of
Huh.
with the loving parents who don't want you to fill your head with
Your loneliness and fear and the band screaming of a broken life.
the echo chamber of emo punk rock at the time.
Yeah. I think that is like the core conceit of our entire podcast is basically we just need to understand each other better and talk. Like rather than bottling up all of this garbage, we need to just like tell people how we feel.
Yeah, and
Say what you wanna say.
okay, no.
Let the words
We don't
fall
have
out.
the rights to that song. No.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, it was under 7 seconds.
Was it? You were really milking that.
Say what you wanna say. Let the words fall out. You're welcome. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I agree entirely. The whole conceit of this podcast is just the benefit of conversation.
Yeah.
That alone. I mean, even when we have guests on, just how much energy and excitement you and I have at the end of these recordings, and it's just talking.
Right.
And I think there's nothing wrong with people trying to put their emotions into poetry. In fact, I think that is a very healthy thing to do.
Right.
But I think what we're learning is even the worst poetry can be shared and discussed.
Yeah.
To get at kind of those deeper meanings and feelings that we just need to process together.
Right. Well, and you acknowledge that in this very poem. Your last line, we are drowned by silent denial. What is that silent denial if not hiding your own emotions and not being willing to talk about it? So you recognize the problem, and how'd you deal with that, Aaron?
Well, you see, I shoved it away.
Okay.
And then about 15 years later, I pulled it out, blew the dust off.
Right.
And after having dealt with those things in other probably unhealthy ways, we get to laugh about it. So
Oh, good.
clearly, I think the healthiest path for me
Yeah,
was
definitely.
was that strategy.
Because this could have been a half-hour conversation with someone who cares about you in the moment, or you could just expose it to the world doing a stupid podcast with your buddy.
I kind of like if both options were possible. Healthy conversations in the moment, and then being able to laugh about it in retrospect.
Right? One thing
Yep.
that I want to lift out of this poem. This is not an age of prosperity, but an age of turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
So this poem was written in 2005, 2006?
2006.
2006. So, like, economic problems were on the horizon, but you were also in high school, so you probably weren't looking at housing prices yet?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
No.
No.
I think I'm seeing more pessimism in this than I've seen from you before.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, there are aspects of our the personal family dynamics where we were a little tight on our budget,
Sure.
which maybe was felt, but like I was not some wise sage predicting the 2008 crash from my bedroom. That is not the case.
Right. No, you were what's his name? Michael
Yeah, the
Big Short.
The Big Short guy. Yeah. I was not him. I was not him.
Steve Carell.
Yes. Actually, no, it's Christian Bale's character,
Christian Bale.
and Steve Carell just comes on board.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. So, to go back to what I'm learning in high school as inspiration for desensitized, I would say, considering I think where either the American history part, or it's hard to remember the curriculum, but I would guess that this would be where I am learning about the Gilded Age.
Okay.
Because there's that analysis. I think, yeah, I think this was, if it wasn't sophomore, it was junior, so maybe this is completely off, but like that analysis of Wizard of Oz being an allegory for the Gilded Age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how it's masking an age of prosperity when it's really just gilded, fake gold. My guess is, again, I'm just riffing on that with all my strength. Very much like you're riffing on a poem you love. I'm riffing on things I'm learning at school and being like, ooh, new vocabulary and new concepts of age.
Well, then I'm waiting for you to like break this out, but to the tune of like, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Because I think when I was in my sophomore year of high school, we were doing like 60s, 70s.
I mean, I was always a big fan of Age of Aquarius because I technically am an Aquarius, but
because you like fishies.
No. So yeah, we got a nerd learning things in high school. And being like, how can I apply this to my life today? Which is, not necessarily a bad thing. An acknowledgement of screamo emo. We should say that. I mean, I was definitely getting into the screamo age where I listened to like Under Oath and Spoken.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Spoken. It was Christian screamo, but it was
Christian screamo. Explain yourself, Christian screamo.
It's commercialization and market numbers telling big execs that they need to put Jesus into a very metal centric
into every corner of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Skillet. Not anymore.
Dear listeners, I keep just shaking my head.
But these are my screamo bands. I mean, yes, I was dipping my toes into the secular screamo, like AFI, Fire Inside. No,
I never did any of that.
Really? Oh, I've got nothing else.
Yeah.
This is we're recording it on a sad day in our American history, and I wish this poem spoke to actual needs of real live
Mm.
people instead of just a privileged white boy trying to troll his dad with loud emo screamo music. So um,
I I I think your alliteration does get at the heart of kind of how a lot of people are feeling constantly around the world, the desensitized, demoralized, dehumanized, and depressed.
yeah,
So that's nice.
yeah. But I think we if we take anything from this, it's speak out,
Yeah.
find someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't be drowned by silent denial, even if it's your own.
You're trying to make a serious point, but then you quote your own poetry and it just makes me laugh. I feel really bad because it's
No.
like, yeah, we need to do this. We need to talk about this. But don't quote your poem.
What do you mean, Dave? Are you saying that this is not good? That it's garbage? Maybe
Oh,
maybe we have a
that's a great
question.
question.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you that, Dave. Is this good or garbage?
Okay. Have you ever walked into your kitchen and smelt something foul?
Like a chicken? Yes.
Okay, I'm hanging up.
Are you
Bye.
thinking turkey? Oh.
This has been my bad poetry.
No,
Now
no,
leave
no.
Aaron alone.
No. I just couldn't. I couldn't
That
help
was
myself.
good. That was good.
Okay.
That was exactly who we are.
No, so stinky smell. Yes, go
A
for
stinky
it.
smell in your
Mhm.
kitchen, and you find that it's coming from the sink. And
Mhm.
the only way to clean out your garbage disposal is to pour all of the soap that you have into your garbage disposal and turn it on and just hope and pray that it stops smelling so bad. I feel like this poem is a linguistic representation of that odor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Diehard
Don't
fans
drown it in silent denial. Drown it in
in Dawn.
dish soap. Drown it in stone, baby.
Okay, two things.
Yes.
We
You
need to
use
talk.
ice to clean out a dish or
Yeah.
a
Okay.
garbage
You already got
disposal.
it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
baking soda.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Clings
Baking
to the
soda, a little
smell.
bit of vinegar, and then it can
Yeah. Yeah.
effervesce,
Whatever. It's the bubblies.
evanescence. It can
Yep.
evanescence.
Yep. Second thing, diehard fans of the show, of which maybe it's just us two. But
Again, I don't listen.
okay, me. When I have the time to edit this, I'm almost positive you've used a garbage disposal metaphor before. So
Have I?
if you can find that episode, because I don't have the time this week, please let us know.
How dare you?
It drop it in the comments that aren't really comments, because we're not a
Get
YouTube
in the
video.
comments!
But you could tweet us with how often we repeat ourselves and our ideas. Even the effervescence evanescence joke.
I'm pretty sure we've made that
We've made that
multiple
before.
times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to our guests in the future where we bring variety.
Yeah. Where we have something new to say.
But we're going to end this week with the words of a true poet like we do every week. And this is a poem worth quoting about our times and our place. This is Thoughts in a Jail by Catherine Rolston Fisher. And here we go. Prisoners are we, American citizens imprisoned for daring in the name of democracy to protest against the continued denial of the right of self-government to 20 million of American people. We lie in a dungeon long ago abandoned and condemned just as politically as we are held, imprisoned in a subjection, abandoned and condemned. by every other nation of English speech and spirit. Painfully raising my head, I looked down the long row of gray blanketed heaps. Under every heap a woman, weak, sick, but determined. 20 gray fortresses of determination. A poem written in the early 20th century.
But yeah, a powerful poem that still disgustingly and sadly has relevance for today.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, folks, we hope you've laughed. We hope you have learned a little.
Learned a little from the last poem, but not from us.
That's fair, yes.
Yeah.
We don't typically try and be educational.
You pretty quickly gave up on the whole, I'm going to introduce a poetic term each episode.
No, we had a good run.
What was your poetic term this time, Aaron? Was your poetic term ripping off other people's poems? Was your poetic term POD?
This has been my bad poetry.
Now go write some of your own bad poetry.
Okay, now what did POD stand for?
Payable on death.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Our sins?
Maybe?
Ooh, I don't like this.
It's got a very Christus Vitor kind of idea. Gross.
Aslan. Oh, wait, what?
Don't quote the ancient magic to me, witch.
There's a deeper magic. Rhyme free, doesn't matter. It's my bad.